Good evening, my friends. I'm Nero. This is going to be a channel update. First and foremost, I'm not quitting. Just get that out of the way. But I am going to take a little break. I wanted to do a channel update because I hadn't really done one for a while. Usually I do it playing Power Wash Simulator. And yeah, just kind of talk about how things have been going. But I wanted to start by talking about how it started versus how it's going versus how it might go in the future. It started with this whole channel, this whole adventure of mine in YouTube started with me talking with some friends about how I have this huge backlog of games I'd love to play, but I don't like playing games alone. And they said, well, you should start doing YouTube because then, we could interact, we could comment, and you got the sense of humor for it. It'll be great. And so I started a document, and I think I've talked about this before. I started a Google Doc that I just called What If I Did a Thing? And a big part of my channel has been saying that you can do anything. Like, you can just start doing things. If you have that dream, if you have that aspiration, if you have that goal, if you have that thing you want to do, if you want to do art, if you want to do mechanical stuff, if you want to do computer stuff, if you want to do sewing, if you want to do cooking, gardening, what have you can just start doing it. And to start with, you're probably going to suck at it, and that's okay. And so I got into this with the idea that I would be sharing in these stories that I was enjoying with you, the audience. And we started with Fable, one of my beloved childhood classic games, one of the first games I truly bought for myself. And had a great time doing that one. Learned a lot, learned a lot, and adjusted our style as we went. Got about halfway through and somebody made the comment or noticed that in every single episode, in every single video I do, I always tell you to hydrate. I always bring up hydration and how important just drinking some regular water is. So that became kind of my shtick as well. And I still remind you. I don't know if you listen, but I still remind you. And we progressed. We tried different things. We explored different banter. We pushed our luck on timing a couple times. And yeah, just kind of went with the flow. And then we started doing Spyro. Spyro was book two. As you'll remember, I do my stories by book, and Spyro was a blast. So glad to have played it and enjoyed the heck out of it. And while we were playing Spyro, we started doing some Twitch streams. Twitch streams were a great time. A lot of times I would be able to do golf with your friends, Bobble Battle. I'd be able to do multiplayer games with a group of friends, and it was great. Had a lot of fun. And then people were busier and busier, and I wasn't able to do as many multiplayer games. And then we got into one of my first experiments, and one that's still very cherished to me was my Spooktober last year. A different video, a different game every day for the entire month of October. A different phobia that we were exploring every single video. And it was a lot of work. It was exhausting, but I felt proud of it. I think those videos got some of my highest ratings of views, um, the most interaction. And then after that, we did a little bit of a palate cleanser. We did some party game stuff, and then we started here on books 3 and 4 of Little King's Story and Wizard with a Gun. And I've been enjoying those because I really enjoy the mechanics of Little King's Story. I enjoy some of the character stuff I've been doing with it. It's not the most engaging, I'm sure, but a lot of what I want to do is just have kind of a casual, relaxing, and sometimes silly background noise because I know people are busy. I know that's usually how people consume content these days is having videos playing in the background while they're doing anything else. And so I've been trying to be like, yeah, stuff happens. You don't necessarily need to be focusing on what I'm doing. The words I'm saying are still relevant, and I'll keep you in the loop as to what's going on in the game and let you know when something important is happening. And yeah, I have noticed that was about the time I started getting introduced to a couple of other content creators that I was really looking forward to doing a lot of collabs with. And the connection just kind of fell through on that. Which brings us to now. I have one more recording to do of Wizard with a Gun, which is going to be a little bit longer one, and then I'm done with that. And we've still got, I think we're about halfway through Little King's Story, probably less if I start playing through it a little quicker. And during this time, I've also been kind of getting finicky about the statistics and the numbers. I focused like trying to get people to comment, trying to get people to like, trying to get people to subscribe. Because for YouTube, that is the metric of success, is how many subscribers you have, how many views you have, how many likes, how engaged your audience is. And I'll be honest, the last 6-8 months or so, that's been dwindling. It's been going downhill kind of a lot. And that's not wanting to put pressure on anybody. I understand people are busy. I understand my channel doesn't have a huge reach. I understand I'm not the most conventional YouTuber. I understand I don't do editing, which is a big appeal for a lot of folks in their content. But I also know that I do stress the importance of real life with all of my videos, of taking care of yourself, of sincerity, of authenticity. And I have touched on some of the things I've struggled with and dealt with in my own life. And one of them is, of course, depression. I have pretty severe depression. A lot of folks do. I'm not trying to diminish other people's struggle with that. I have depression. I have pretty severe depression, and it manifests itself in a multitude of ways, and one of those ways is anhedonia. I have difficulty getting joy out of things. It's why I was so motivated to do this initially, was because I do have a passion for stories and gaming and sharing these things with other people. And lately the joy hasn't been there. I haven't been playing games for fun. I've been playing them because that's one of the things I do, and because it's important to me to keep my word. And one of my words was, hey, I'm going to upload a video every week for you. And then it was I was going to upload a video, 2 videos every week for you. And even if you didn't watch them, they'd be there. They will be there for you to watch. I've had some life changes in the last month or so that have taken a pretty serious toll on my physical, mental, emotional, and social health. I'm not doing great, I'll be honest. And that makes it really difficult to come down here and set up and do recordings that I know no one's going to watch. Because then it feels like I'm not doing it for me. I'm just doing it. I'm just going through the motions, and I go through the motions every day already. I put on a smiling face whenever I'm talking with somebody. I laugh and I joke and I put on this mask. And I don't want to do that here. This is not where I want to be putting on a mask. It's where I want to be authentically enjoying myself, laughing at jokes, being amazed by games, getting really into it and really invested and really frustrated when it doesn't go well. I don't want to put on a mask when I'm doing these videos. And lately I feel like that's what I've been having to do because I've had to pretend that I don't feel disconnected. With these YouTube videos, there is a level of disconnect. It's me performing for an audience, but I have been performing for somewhat of an empty room. I haven't had any comments. I haven't had any likes. I haven't really had any views. The number of subscribers has stayed stagnant. And I know a lot of that is because of the content I'm producing. I know I'm not good at this. I know I'm not good at this. I'm not doing it because I'm good. I'm doing it to show you that somebody who isn't good at something can do a thing anyway. But that said, it is still disheartening, and it has been taxing to maintain this. As I've mentioned in other videos, I am in maintenance, and maintaining things is my job. And this feels like work. And I didn't want this to feel like work. I wanted this to be something I enjoyed doing. And I'm trying to get back into that. Some of that is requiring resolving some interpersonal struggles that I'm having. Some of that is cutting back, letting go of certain aspirations. There's going to be some changes I need to make, and some of that is taking care of my own health first. I have jeopardized that on more than one occasion, and it's not been good. I still am not ready to talk about what I've been facing. I don't know that anybody who is watching this knows, and if you do, I appreciate you not sharing that. But I don't think anybody does, and I'm not ready to talk about it yet. We'll get there when we get there, and when we get there will be when I have any information to share. So that's where we're at now. Nearly completed one more book, and still have a lot to go on another. And I want to do other content. I'm not pretending I don't. But I also have to recognize my own limitations. I have a lot going on in my life, and everyone does. And I woke up in the middle of the night last night, about 1:30 in the morning. Couldn't get back to sleep. All I could think of was, I just need to delete my YouTube. I just need to stop doing this. I need to quit. And every time I got to that point, I'm like, no, don't make a decision based on crippling fatigue at 1:30 in the morning when you have depression and anxiety and all this stuff. That's not what this is about. You're tired, go back to sleep. Well, I still couldn't go back to sleep, but I was able to at least get myself past the point of saying, yeah, I'm just going to quit. Everybody quits. Everybody quits at some point. There are people that I would like if they reached out more. there are situations I would like to have differently. But I also find myself in a predicament of wanting to wanting the energy to be reciprocated. That is an important thing. Is I would like to have the energy that I put into various things reciprocated. And in some cases that hasn't been. It's part of why I'm not really doing multiplayer games anymore. I would love to, but I just can't find the right way to mesh, to collaborate, to multiplay, as it were. And I'd like to be better at improv and joking and off the cuff humor while I'm playing, and keeping a steady flow, a steady rhythm of conversation going while I'm recording, because it is so difficult to listen to recording where there's just long pauses. See what I did there? Yeah. Self-referential. It is difficult to listen to a recording that does that. A lot of my recordings do that because I don't really edit. I've taken the first step into editing, which is I adjust audio levels. But that's about it. I'm going to hydrate again. Because I think it's important that people recognize performance isn't always perfect. I really appreciated old movies that included blooper reels, because it showed that it wasn't just that story perfect, right on first take every time. No, they made mistakes. They made jokes. They got silly. They got laughing. They couldn't keep a straight face. They couldn't keep that mask on. They could let free. And when they did, while the cameras were rolling, hey, we're just going to stick that in during the credits and the audience is going to love it. And they did. The audience did love it. And then we moved away from that, and now we started just doing teaser trailers for the next in a long line of consecutive movie series. And people don't see imperfections anymore. People don't see content creators making mistakes. They don't see content creators making gaffes, slips of the tongue, jokes that don't land, long pauses, awkward stares, funny faces, because they just can't realize that the camera's positioned in a way that this looks kind of stupid. That's me, by the way. But that's because my screen's up here, so I need to reposition that. Where we started, Fable. Where we are, how we started versus how it's going. Where do we go from here? I'm gonna take some time off. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna take some time off. I can't promise there will be a video this Sunday or the following Tuesday, or even the following Sunday and Tuesday. That puts us well into what, July? Yeah, that's gonna put us into July, and then maybe I'll be back. I don't know. I'm trying to balance what I need versus what I want to versus what I need, because a deep need for me is to keep that structure, is to keep that routine, and I'm worried that if I don't, that I won't get back to it. That worries me a lot, is that if I take a break, I won't get back to it. And that scares me, because that to me just says this is quitting, and I don't want to quit. I'm going to just go ahead and conclude this video with a open invitation. leave a comment or message me if you have the direct means of doing so. If you are one of the people in my social circle or the one of the content creators with whom I have connected, and let me know if you want to do something. Uh, One of the things I don't know if I've mentioned is I am an ambitrovert, I think is the term. I have both extroverted and introverted tendencies. When I'm introverted, I tend to gain a lot of social energy, and the longer I'm introverted, the more that builds until it's almost like a pressure cooker of social energy. I want to socialize. I want to gather. I want to be with people, talk to people. I want to go out, party, talk, dance, sing, karaoke, games, movies, what have you. I want to be around people. And when I'm around people, I get to burn through that energy until I start building up that introverted energy. And I want to be, I'm good with people. Yeah, this has been a great time. I'm looking forward to doing it again. Right now, it's given me the energy, the motivation to just go home and binge watch a show by myself while eating Oreos until I'm sick. And then back and forth and back and forth. That's how it works for me. It's just kind of that tipping balancing scale. Right now, I'm full to bursting with social energy and I don't have it. And so I've been doing a lot of content creation, but I can't I can't anymore. I can't I can't do this the way I've been doing it anymore. And at least not right now. And so I'm going to give myself some time. I would love to hear from you. I hope I do. And if I don't, that's okay. Like I said, I'm not quitting. I'll be back with more videos in the near future and hopefully a more what we're doing here of the channel. But for now, my friends, take care of yourselves, be authentic, stay hydrated, and we'll see you in the future. Farewell.